Chizuru is the new single-target powerhouse in Chaos Zero Nightmare. But she's also very complex. If you don't know what you're doing with her, she might be underperforming and she won't feel half as good. But understanding her kit and knowing what to look out for and what to prioritize will vastly elevate your Chizuru gameplay. And that is what I aim to teach you in this video. Hello everybody, my name is Hako, welcome to the channel. For the last 72 hours, I've been playing basically nothing but Chizuru. She is extremely fun and she might be my new favorite agent in the game. Now Chizuru is a void psionic character. And out of all of the classes, I think psionic might be my favorite, tied together with vanguards. Psionics, they are kinda weird and they have a lot of cool manipulation stuff going on. Now when it comes to Chizuru, there's 4 new mechanics that I want you to keep track of. Let's do them one by one. The first one is Cursed Shackles. Now Chizuru applies Cursed Shackles with her Karmic Flames card. This gets targeted on one enemy, and whenever we use an attack card on that enemy, for every hit of that attack card, Chizuru will gain 1 Will-O-Wisp. Will-O-Wisp is one of the 4 mechanics I want you to keep track of. Now Chizuru only has one card that applies Cursed Shackles, and it is Karmic Flames. So let's also talk about Will-O-the-Wisp. Next to Chizuru's portrait, you will see a few flames. These are your Will-O-the-Wisp tracker. Whenever you fill these flames out, you will create 1 Shadow of the Moon. Shadow of the Moon has the third mechanic I want to talk about, and it is Bind. What's special with Bind is that if you have 2 Bind cards, they combine into 1. So if you have 2 Shadow of the Moon, they become Bind 2. What's special with Shadow of the Moon is that if it's a Bind 3, it turns into Shadow of the Moon Plus. The damage gets better and it also hits more times. Shadow of the Moon can stack up to Bind 5, but preferably we want to be using it at Bind 3. So Chizuru might seem like a lot just because she has so many new mechanics that we haven't seen before. But the gameplay plan is kinda simple. Apply Karmic Flames to an enemy and then bombard that enemy with attacks, preferably attacks that have several hits. Chizuru's basic attack, Moonslash, hits twice, and cards like this really benefit Chizuru. We want as many attacks as possible on any given enemy that has Cursed Shackles on it. Important to note is that any hit from Chizuru will give you Will-O-the-Wisp and any hit from her teammates. Her first Epiphany card is called Tsukuyomi. And after you play this, the next attack that we play that belongs to Chizuru will give you 2 Will-O-the-Wisp for each hit of that attack. So if we play a card that has 3 hits on it, we will gain 6 Will-O-the-Wisp. And Tsukuyomi also has some really interesting epiphanies. Now I would say that all of these ones are good. Some of my favorites is perhaps the first one to the left, which gives you 3 Will-O-the-Wisp instead of 2. The one in the middle is also pretty good, it adds on 2 hits to the next Shadow of the Moon or Shadow of the Moon Plus. All of these ones are good. Some of my least favorite is the one that gives you 3 Will-O-the-Wisp for each attack card of this unit in hand. Now this can be really good, I just prefer the other ones. And the one to the left of the middle adds in 1 hit to the next attack card of this unit used, and instead you get 1 Will-O-the-Wisp for each hit of that attack. Now the extra hit of whatever attack can be really nice, but I prefer to just get as many Will-O-the-Wisps as possible. Now let's talk about her 4th mechanic. Bound at Dusk. At the start of the turn, gain Inhibit, and decrease cost by 1 until 1 random cards of other combatants are used. So, Inhibit is a new thing that also comes with Chizuru. Inhibit makes it so that you cannot manually gain AP, except at the start of a turn or on Ravage. It also adds on 1 hit to the Shadow of the Moon card. So this means that any card that gives you 1 AP won't really do anything. Now this might sound horrid, and it kinda is, but it weighs up for it in a lot of different ways. It also has some really good epiphanies. The first one can give us a discount of 1 on 2 cards. The one after that gives us a 1 AP discount the next time we use a card after we used Shadow of the Moon Plus. The one in the middle makes it so at the start of every turn, we activate 2 random cards belonging to the other combatants. The one after that, we activate 2 random lead cards in our hand. And for the last one, decrease cost of the card with the highest cost by 2. And out of these ones, I will say all of them are pretty good. Some of my favorite ones are the one in the middle that automatically activates 2 random cards of other combatants, or the one to the very left where it gives us a discount of 1 AP on 2 cards. Now, Bond at Dusk is great. However, the fact that we cannot gain AP manually anymore must be factored in when constructing decks and picking teammates. Now, for the last card we have Uni Hunt. This is an attack that hits 3 times, and it also increases the damage amount of the next bind card that we use by 30%. Ooh, Hako, I've forgotten what a bind card is. Don't worry, there is one bind card and one bind card only. It is Shadow of the Moon. So Uni Hunt buffs up Shadow of the Moon in many ways. One of the best things about it is that it hits 3 times, which helps stack Will-O-the-Wisp, which generates more Shadow of the Moon. And before we move on, let's talk about the Uni of the Hunt Epiphanies. There are some really good ones. One of my favorites is the first one. It adds on 1 extra hit. It lowers the damage a little bit, but the extra hit helps us build up more Will-O-the-Wisp, and also we get slightly more damage to the next bind card used. This one is fantastic. After that, we take away all of the extra hits on it, which I don't really love, but we add on 60% more damage to the next bind card used. This might be my least favorite. Like, it's not bad, but it is my least favorite. Now, the middle one makes it so if there are no other attack cards in your hand, you get to add on 2 extra hits, making it into a 5-hitter. Now, this one is great, although we get no extra damage on the next bind card used. After that, we can make it so that it creates 2 Moon Slashes, which is her basic attack card. Now, this one is pretty good because the Moon Slashes will also be free, and since they hit twice, so in total we get 4 hits out of this as well. Moon Slash also has higher base damage than Uni Hunt, and if we have a character like Ray on the team that increases damage the basic attack card does, this one is very viable. Sadly, no extra damage to bind card, which makes the left one still my favorite. And for the last one, we can make it into an upgrade card. That makes it so plus 40% damage to the next Shadow of the Moon plus, and at the start of our turn, we get 3 Will-O-the-Wisp. Now, this isn't bad by any stretch of the imagination, so normally to get 3 Will-O-the-Wisp, we need to hit an enemy 3 times. Now we get it for free at the start of every turn. This is not bad. Now, Uni Hunt is pretty solid damage on its own, so I'm not a big fan of like removing the damage completely, but it's not the end of the world. So, combat with Chizuru might seem like a lot just because we have all of these new mechanics to like keep track of. We have Cursed Shackles, which we applied with Karmic Flames. Try to apply this to like any sort of like tanky enemy that will be around for the rest of the fight. Once that enemy has been Cursed Shackled, Chizuru will get 1 Will-O-the-Wisp anytime an attack lands on that enemy. And the Will-O-the-Wisps are really the bread and butter because with them we generate Shadow of the Moon. Shadow of the Moon is her like big nuke, and we want it to become Shadow of the Moon plus, which we get once we have drawn a Shadow of the Moon 3 times, or if we manage to fill up the Will-O-the-Wisp bar enough times. One of the absolute best ways to generate Will-O-the-Wisps is with her card Tsukuyomi. After we use this one, we want to be using like a multi-hitting card, preferably Tsukuyomi and Uni Hunt, which will generate you 6 Will-O-the-Wisp. For Shiseler, there are some absolutely insane monster cards that have like 5 hits on them, and if you manage to get one of those and then use Tsukuyomi, well, you can look at 10 Will-O-the-Wisps. We will start every combat with Bound at Dusk in our hand, and this is a great card, but it comes with a big negative that we cannot manually like refill any AP. But the card makes up for it in other ways by like making other cards cheaper by playing some cards automatically, and also by adding on 1 extra hit to Shadow of the Moon or Shadow of the Moon plus. As for card removal, we kinda always want to get rid of Spirit Flame's Ward. As for what cards we're looking to duplicate, if we get the chance to do such, I would say Uni Hunt might be the biggest priority, after that Shadow of the Moon, then Tsukuyomi, and after that Karmic Flames. As for Shiseler's Ego skill, it's nothing to scoff at. It starts out at 250% damage, but gains 50% more damage for every Shadow of the Moon that we've created. So I understand this was probably a lot to take in. Let's look at some combat footage to like see it all put into practice.
Get drunk, live for sunrise in the moonlight. Just don't wake me up, we do what we like. Let's funk after midnight, sparking twilight. We just turn it up, wait for new sunrise. Get me some disco music through the night. Lose control, dancing in the golden vulture flies. Just fill me with that alcohol. The time is getting slow. No words convince me, beat that soul. Don't ask me what is real. Just fill me with that alcohol. The time is getting slow. No words convince me, beat that soul. Don't ask me what is real. Get drunk, live for sunrise in the moonlight. Just don't wake me up. We do what we like. Let's fall after midnight, sparking twilight. We just turn it up, wait for new sunrise. Get me some disco music through the night. Lose control, dancing in the golden light. Gone crazy, we are running out of time. Fancy dream flying above the city lights. She moves like she's in paradise. Can't leave the comfort zone and I know that's alright. Higher than the vulture fly. She moves like she's in paradise. Can't leave the comfort zone and I am in the limbo. That's alright. Higher than the vulture fly. Just fill me with that alcohol. The time is getting slow. No words convince me, beat that soul. Don't ask me what is real. Just fill me with that alcohol. The time is getting slow. No words convince me, beat the soul. Don't ask me what is real. Get drunk, live for sunrise in the moonlight. Just don't wake me up. We do what we like. Let's fall after midnight, sparking twilight. We just turn it up, wait for new sunrise. Get me some disco music through the night. Lose control, dancing in the golden light. Gone crazy, we are.
For Chizuru's partners, her best in slot intended one is Itsuki. But don't worry, she has access to a lot of other good ones. The free-to-play option is Eloise. If you manage to pull Brya, which is Keiron's intended partner, she also works kinda great together with Chizuru. And same goes for Antea, but yeah, first Itsuki, then Brya, then Eloise, then Antea, and then Satera. Now let's look at some save datas that I managed to accumulate. Now just because there's so many forbidden cards that are like really good with Chizuru, my main goal has been trying to get as many forbidden algorithms I can, together with a multifaceted parallel universe nexus. And with that I also tried to pick up other lead cards like self-generating experiment. With this deck I managed to get rid of the shield and I also managed to duplicate the Shadow of the Moon. And this is one of my stronger Chizuru decks. After that we have another deck that I'm kinda happy with. Once again managed to get the Nexus, also Forced Learning Apparatus, and for this deck I also managed to pick up Forbidden Engraved Malice, which is fantastic. As for her weapon, she can be quite flexible. What I like is having enough card draw that we can get away with like running one of the Yuki intended weapons like the W52, just because she scales so well with increased damage amount on cards. A deck that has just that and I'm pretty proud of is this deck. So with this one I managed to get 3 gear bags, I managed to get Forbidden Portrait of Fury, self-generating experiment, and with this one we have enough card draw that I can get away with running the Chimera Knight, and I can also get away with running the Emblem of an Exceptional Entity. This is a fantastic accessory, and if you're not running like a Nexus build, this is your go-to thing. However, it is RNG dependent if you get that event in an unidentified area or not. This is another fun deck. I managed to duplicate Karmic Flames twice, so I have 3 of them. Now, important note with Karmic Flames that if we do it on an enemy already suffering from Cursed Shackles, well, we do 1 extra hit with it. And while we're on the subject, we can only have Cursed Shackled up on 1 enemy at a time. So if there's an encounter where there's 2 boss enemies, having more than 1 Karmic Flames to like be able to reapply it when the first enemy dies can be kinda nice. Innately she is lacking some card draw, so I do like picking up some card draw cards with her. And now, remember when I was talking about monster cards? Yeah, this is one of them. Dark Grip is a fantastic monster card. It hits twice, and it hits twice more if we kill the first enemy that we hit with this. And you can also get lucky and get an Epiphany where this one applies Vulnerable, which is really nice. Among the forbidden cards, one of the very best ones is Portrait of Fury. Here we can take a look at some of the other monster cards. Shy Gardener is a 4-hit attack, Sorrowful Godfather 4-hit attack, and Winged Jungler Beast is a 5-hit attack. So a lot of the monster cards are like the best cards in the game for Chizuru. However, I am very aware that these are super hard to come by, so you just have to pray and hope to get lucky. Now let's talk some team building. Chizuru can be quite flexible with her teammates, although there are some that are clearly better than others. One of my favorite supports to run with her is Ray. Ray is amazing. So since we're actually using our basic attack cards, Ray's Strike of Darkness is not bad, and also Resonating Darkness is not bad either, because a lot of Chizuru's heavy hitting cards is 1 costs. Also, any attack that hits multiple times, being able to buff that damage, it scales exponentially. So doing a Shadow of the Moon buffed with Dark Condensation is so freaking good. As for the sub-DPS of the team, I've tried out a bunch, and I think my favorite one is Veronica. Now, important to note with Veronica is that her Ballista card that plays itself does not give Will of the Wisp stack when it hits the enemy that has Cursed Chains on it. I'm not sure if this is intended. I think it is intended, but I also think it is a little bit silly. But still, Veronica is a goated unit. She helps out with card draw, and she has some really good multi-hitting attacks just because she is a hunter. One of the best ones is Muscle Enhanced Evolver, which we can find in New Chaos, and this is a 4-hit card for 1 AP. Another one like that is Prerogative Virus, which can hit up to 6 times if we draw it that many times. Kinda her best in slot intended teammate is Tressa, and Tressa is great because she can create a billion daggers that she can then hurl at an enemy. Sadly, my Tressa is still level 10 because I'm completely out of resources, but I would love to level her up, so if you have a fully invested Tressa, she can definitely be used together with Chizuru. Other good teammates that I found is Yuki. So, Chizuru is kind of the new queen of single target, and Yuki is the queen of AoE damage. So if you're up against content that has a big tanky boss, but also a bunch of small enemies, pairing these two up together can be absolutely fantastic. Yuki also has a lot of sheep cards, and a lot of them hit twice, like Iceberg Cleave and Flash Slash with Epiphany. Now, Mika is kind of the go-to support, the go-to healer for any team. I would say she is slightly less valuable together with Chizuru, simply because a lot of Mika's appeal is that she gives you AP, something that a team with Chizuru can't really benefit of. But any support or sub-DPS that has a lot of sheep attacks to help you out stacking Will-O-the-Wisp are very valuable. Cassius is a great support that fits into any team and can help you pull very valuable cards. With his quests, he can also have access to some zero-cost attacks. Luke and Lucas also have a lot of really cheap attacks that they can help stack Will-O-the-Wisp with, so if you have them invested, they're not a bad pick either. But currently, what I found to be my favorite Chizuru team is with Ray and Veronica. For the memory fragments, we want a 4-piece of Orb of Inhibition. This is a new set that came together with Chizuru, and it is her intended set. When hitting 2 times with 1 attack card, plus 10% damage amount to void cards for 1 turn, stacking up to 2 times per turn. So this is great. Like I said, she scales very good with anything that increases damage of a card because she hits multiple times on a lot of stuff. For the 2-piece, I've chosen to go with Executioner's Tool, just to get some extra crit damage, because we do want her to be critting quite a lot. Her last potential has her scaling pretty well on attack, but do not negate the crits. For the 4-piece, I would recommend a crit chance. For the 5-piece, I would recommend attack, and after that, void damage. And for number 6, I would recommend attack. And the substats that we're looking for is attack percentage, crit rate, and crit damage. Currently, I'm pretty happy with the stats of my Chizuru. Maybe some more attack wouldn't hurt, but overall, it's a pretty solid one. For the potential, we kinda want to be prioritizing everything with a slightly higher focus on the unique cards, and the crit chance and crit damage, and also the special notes. As for her Manifest Ego, she has some really good ones. Number 1 is pretty good. It adds on 20% damage to Shadow of the Moon Plus, and whenever we use it, we recover 3% of our max HP. Number 2 is what I'll say this is the really big one. It makes it so whenever we use Shadow of the Moon Plus, we create 1 Shadow of the Moon card. And now once again, if you've forgotten what Shadow of the Moon Plus is, it is simply Shadow of the Moon that we've managed to create 3 times. So it has a bind 3 on it. And remember, anytime we pull a Shadow of the Moon, we slap it together with the Shadow of the Moon that we already have, and we increases the bind level by 1. And once again, the bind can stack up to 5, and it does get some more damage for every bind level, but I would say personally I found better results like using it at 3 bind, and then creating another one using it at 3 bind, rather than stacking it all the way up to 5. So everybody, there you have it. That is everything I can teach you about Chizuru. She's an incredibly fun character, and the way that we play her is that we put Karmic Flames on a big enemy that is going to be around for a while, and then we try to stack as much Will-o'-the-Wisp as possible by attacking that enemy with cards from any of our allies. We also start every combat by playing Bound at Dusk, and we can use our card Tsukuyomi in conjunction with an attack that hits a lot of times in order to stack a crazy amount of Will-o'-the-Wisp. Anytime that we fully stack the Will-o'-the-Wisp, we get 1 Shadow of the Moon. Once we've created 3 of them, they will become Shadow of the Moon Plus, and that's when we want to use it. Make use out of the fact that all of her stuff hits multiple times, so any sort of buff that you can slap on Chizuru gets exponentially better. Also remember that Bound at Dusk gives you Inhibit, which prevents you from gaining AP other than ravaging enemies, so play accordingly.
Just fill me with that alcohol, the time is getting slow. No words can make me beat that soul, don't ask me what is real. Just fill me with that alcohol, the time is getting slow. No words can make me beat that soul, don't ask me what is real. Get drunk, live for sunrise in the moonlight, just don't wake me up. We do what we like. Let's funk after midnight, sparking twilight. We just turn it up, wait for new sunrise. Get me some disco music through the night. Lose control, dancing in the golden light. Gone crazy, we are running out of time. Fancy dream, flying above the city lights. She moves like she's in paradise, can't leave the comfort zone, and I am in the limbo, that's alright. Higher than the vulture fly. She moves like she's in paradise, can't leave the comfort zone, and I am in the limbo, that's alright. Higher than the vulture fly.